This is a test. This is a test of the board meeting sound.
right. Ready? All right. The special meeting is called back to order. Will the secretary please note that all the board members are present with Board Member Para online. The first item on the agenda is 3B, motion to adjourn executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn the executive session?
I motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion has been made by Board Member Ross and seconded by Board Member Oliver. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is 3D, motion to adjourn the special meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn the special meeting?
I motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been, to adjourn has been made by Board Member Ross, seconded by Board Member Oliver. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. The regular meeting is now called to order. Will the secretary please note that all board members are present with Board Member Parra online. Please note that today's meeting is being live streamed. Also, please note that we have Spanish interpreting services available at the back of the room.
Si necesita intérprete en español, favor de mirar a nuestro intérprete que se encuentra a un lado del cuarto. Gracias.
The first item on the agenda is 1C, Pledge of Allegiance and Moment of Silence. We will stand as Board Member Potter leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing while a moment of silence is observed.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Next item is 1D, Land Acknowledgement Statement. Please remain seated as Board Member Oliver reads the PXU Land Acknowledgement Statement.
Good evening. The Phoenix Union High School District is responsible for and committed to creating educational environments that prioritize the achievement of Native American students. We are committed to making their cultural identity visible by acknowledging that our school district resides upon the ancestral lands of the original caretakers, the Hohokam, ancestors of the Akum Odom, Onk Akamal Odom, Tono Odom, Tono Atham, and Akchen. These sovereign nations are presently known as the Gila River Indian Community, Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community, Tono Atham Nation, and Akchan Indian Community. This formal acknowledgement is dedicated to the 22 sovereign nations of Arizona. PXU understands the importance of providing reparations through truth-telling. We recognize the historical injustices not traditionally taught in the classroom and are committed to practices prioritizing Native American knowledge, history, representation, and healing. We commit with an open mind to always respect the land, its history, and its ancestors.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is 2A, Recognitions and Accomplishments. On Tuesday morning, I had the pleasure of attending the opening of schools employee convocation. It was a really wonderful event, full of energy and emceed by our students. I think that was the best part for me. Incredible staff was celebrated and also our exceptional schools. We will be inviting the Employee of the Year to the September board meeting, but tonight we are very excited to celebrate our PXU Students of the Year. We'll start with Maurice Sangura from Alhambra High School. Maurice is described by his principal as an exceptional human being and the ultimate representative of what it means to be a PXU student. He is respectful and kind to all, and he always has a positive attitude and smiling face. Maurice is highly involved on campus and performs very well in the athletics field, playing soccer, tennis, and track and field. He stands out in the classroom and excels academically. Always willing to help, Maurice is fluent in Swahili and is the first to welcome other students who speak Swahili to ensure that they have a friend on campus when they arrive. He is compassionate, charismatic, and open-minded. When Maurice arrived on campus, he came with the goal of becoming bilingual. As you know, bilingualism and multilingualism are superpowers in PXU. He has come a long way and is now more than proficient in English and Swahili. Maurice truly puts the pride in being a lion. Join us as we congratulate Maurice Sangura from Alhambra High School for being named the 2024 PXU Student of the Year.
Our second Student of the Year is Portia Francois from North High School. Portia exemplifies the spirit of excellence, leadership, and community engagement that all PXU students should have. Her academic achievements are nothing short of remarkable, with a 4.4 GPA and ranking 22nd in her class. Portia is a natural leader who stands up for what she believes in and inspires others to follow suit. She also demonstrates teamwork, perseverance, and sportsmanship on the volleyball court. Portia represents her school on district committees and at state level leadership conferences. She is also passionate about the environment and can be found picking up trash on campus and encouraging her peers to do the same. Join me in congratulating Portia Francois from North High School for being named a 2024 PXU Student of the Year. Unfortunately, Portia is unable to attend in person this evening, but she is attending virtually.
Next item is 3A, reports from employee organizations. Mr. Esteban Fleming, CTA President.
Good evening, President Napa, Superintendent Andrade, governing board members, community and staff in attendance here and virtually. I am Esteban Flemings, returning for year 2 as the president of the PXU CTA, and I stand in front of you representing more than our 1,000 certified educators in PXU. It has been a hot summer with many of hours work put in by PXU employees to get ready for the start of school on Monday. Wow. All right. Since we were last together, CTA members have done great work bringing students credit current through summer school opportunities, increasing their content knowledge through the variety of offerings that our district has had, from Tech Fest to different content-specific workshops, as well as traveling throughout the state and country to attend various conferences to increase their individual learning, all with the hopes of being the best educators that they can be back here in the district. So it's been busy. It's been a short summer, but lots of worthwhile things. First thing I'd like to say is thank you all. I was looking back at what I said last year when I came here for our first meeting. And last year I stood before you all feeling very different about where we were. Last year I spoke about concerns that staff had, that they felt their voices were not heard and were not listened to, partially by leadership, partially by the board when we walked into campus. And I can say this year it's a very different feeling. From the district lens, we left last year having a lot more of our decisions for this year made and placed down. The staff feels heard by the board. There's a level of understanding and commitment, and I really appreciate that. It does just make things feel like we're walking into this year really in a glide to get the good things done instead of coming in going, well, we're going to have to, wrestle and figure things out. With that said, though, things are not going to be perfect, and they never will be. We're going to enter the year again with some concerns. We're struggling with staff. We're missing educators. We need more of them. And we look at, attendance or enrollments, and those pieces are going to be concerns. But there seems to be a lot of healthy dialogue that's in place and opportunities to have those discussions more than we did 12 months ago. So with that said, I do want to say it is very exciting to see on the agenda some of the board goals moving forward. I think those are really some things for everyone to tighten around. I love the focus on ACT as a metric to see growth. However, though, I do know that ACT is at its core a timed reading test, and it's not the perfect metric. It is a metric, but it's not the perfect one. So I hope that as we go through and decide what those goals are, we can look at some other opportunities to find additional ways to measure growth of our students, particularly our identified groups that really need that extra support, to ensure that whatever they do, even if it's not something that needs the ACT, we can provide that support to show that we do care and we are making them better students. And then I think that rolls into the next one, which I looked at, is the college enrollment, which I find it great. But I think about like our CTE programs and some of our students that going directly to work and maybe not attending college right away is going to be what their goals are. So how can we capture their successes and not focus solely on the group of college attending students? I think I'm going to just say attendance is everyone's going to be happy about trying to attack attendance. I think looking at some of our current policies and how we can utilize and adjust them to meet and decrease that absenteeism is going to be huge. And I don't think you're going to find a teacher in the district that says, hey, if you get the kids in the seats and let us teach them, that we're going to meet those goals above. But it's just trying to get them there. And how can we do that with a kind hand and a loving heart, but also with a really like, we need you here. We can't have you missing class. And then let me see. I think those are the big ones that I wanted to hit. And so with that, I want to leave you guys, I really want to express my gratitude of everyone who's worked together this year. Thank you, Ms. Andrade and your leadership team for this last year in the summer of really helping us get involved, being in spaces with us and having the conversations even when they weren't comfortable. And just a quick shout out to I guess I want to say PXU certified staff is here to get the work done with leadership, and then with our union siblings, with CEA and ADA. We are all here together as one piece to do the work. And so thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you all next month.
Yeah, Madam President. Yes. So it would be really interesting, Mr. Flemings, if you could give us some suggestion on other measurements, because I get what you're saying. You guys know. And then also, Superintendent Andrade, do we track our students that don't go to college? Do we do any tracking like a year or so afterwards?
We definitely attempt to as part of the CTE Carl Perkins. I can't say it's as thorough as I'd like it to be. We do track CTE certifications and program completers, though.
Yeah. And absolutely, I will reach out to my members. I got 1,000 great minds out there that are happy to share other metrics and ways to help. So we'll do that, and I will get something to Ms. Andrade.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you. Ms. Anastasia Jimenez, CEA President.
Okay, good evening, everybody. President Napa, Superintendent Andrade, governing board members, and the PXU community, welcome back. And thank you, as always, for allowing PXU CEA an opportunity to share with you all tonight. I have a bit to share out. So first, being that I wanted to formally welcome and introduce our 2024-2025 CEA officer team. So our incumbent VP, Mr. AJ Nito, has won his reelection, and we also want to recognize our newly elected officers, Ms. Arendita Munoz, serving as our recording secretary, and Ms. Laura Gomez, our new corresponding secretary. So you can anticipate meeting and seeing them in the near future as they will be making their transition into their roles. And so I look forward to working with each of them, along with all of our newly elected campus site representatives and executive board. And so if you all are interested, I can share out their information if you'd like to see what that looks like. So I'm excited for this new school year as CEA is looking to become more visible and establish more ways for our members, staff, and overall PXU community to engage with us. So welcome and thank you for stepping up and leaning into your new leadership roles. And as Mr. Flemons mentioned, so this also means that we are collaborating much with our ADA association as well as our CTA association. The next item I'd like to uplift is all the work that our ESPs have been involved in over the summer. As many of us were on summer break, many others were working hard during the summer season. So I'd like to congratulate both our safety department and our PD department for all the work they did around providing summer PD for both classified and certified staff. For me, it was a lot of fun, but it was filled with learning, connecting, and building those relationships with our staff community outside of the normal workday. Many staff members came to me, actually, personally, excited about these opportunities, and they spoke very well to them and how much they appreciated having the time to connect with other staff around the district. So just shout out to them and all those involved behind the scenes, Dr. Wagner and her team, our wonderful PD facilitators, content creators, our safety staff, and our custodial staff on site to help support those events. Additionally, we kicked off the school year for our new classified staff at Desert Willow Conference Center for the Classified Induction Experience event. It was another successful event held by our PD team in collaboration with many other departments, including talent, our superintendent's office, student safety, teaching and learning, our PXU wellness team, technology and logistics division, and many more, which I'm sure I'm failing to mention. So thank you for honoring our education support professionals and welcoming them into our PXU family. And lastly, much to Mr. Flemons' point, I'd like to leave the board with this consideration. As you're crafting and solidifying your goals for the school year, please keep our associations in mind and use us as a resource and guides. Together, we can help with the mission of PXU and support PXU board efforts. At the end of the day, we all want to see our district and our students succeed, strive for historical feats, and that are inclusive and equitable. We are the community, we are parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, and so forth, and we are the voters of this community. So our educators across this district honor a governing board that is looking for multiple measures to gauge student achievement and attendance, and that can leverage those community partnerships to see our enrollment increase. So asking questions such as, is a four-year university the only outcome our students are deserving of or can attain, which we all know it isn't. So perhaps we widen our definition of success to be truly inclusive, utilizing multiple avenues and finding creative ways to define what it means to be a graduate of PXU. So I look forward to many more conversations and opportunities with you all to collaborate. And thank you again for this time, and I wish each of you a very wonderful year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. John Doherty, ADA President.
Good evening, President Napa, members of the board, Superintendent Andrade. It's August 1st. School starts in 3 days, and we're ready. Everybody has been working so hard and diligently, all groups. we just heard on our support professionals. I know on my own campus of Maryvale, it's been an amazing journey from a surprise leak in a floor that got fixed really quick, removing trees that are giant that happened to die in the last heat wave, but all across the district, all the things that they do to get us ready for that first day of school, and they just go and go and go, and so it's so appreciated and recognized. All classes, we're ready to go for that opening day. We're excited to see our seniors reach the finish line, which is actually their next starting line. When they get out of high school, we want to welcome our newest scholars to our learning communities and provide all learners with rich opportunities to grow and experience all that is high school. So we're excited for the start of the year. Your board retreat, I watched about 3 hours of it. So I'd like to share some things from the Administrative Association point of view, like many echoing what you just heard from the other associations. First, acknowledging the difficult work of setting goals, especially for a district our size. We're big. We have a big footprint, and what we do impacts our city and the future of it. So thank you for embarking on that difficult work and beginning that journey. Some thoughts from ADA on those proficiency goals, such as like ACT, are good and important. They're popular, I think, as a goal, but recognizing that they're a single moment in time. One test day for a kid, and then to be judged, and then to judge an entire system on it. So we would also encourage multiple measures, particularly growth, and we are starting to use tools that allow us to see growth in a detailed way, and so if that could be considered in further, in addition, like any multiple measures, triangulate, right, to try and come to the answer, like are we doing the work? Are we growing our kids? Are they achieving? Are we going in the right direction? So I wouldn't be afraid of having more than one goal in an area. Moving on to the other things that I heard, enrollment was one, another complex issue. We would encourage you to consider multiple measures here too, perhaps disaggregating our enrollment and setting multiple goals there, ideas like capture rate, retention rate, and maybe regional considerations. We have a big footprint, and different parts of our footprint are behaving very differently for different reasons. So maybe, I don't know, it's complex stuff. So looking at different regions of the district, or different types of schools, large schools versus small schools, specialty schools versus comprehensive campuses and things like that might make sense. College enrollment, four-year institutions is certainly one that we want to look at and always consider. But also, I think considering all the other measures, community college, trade schools, what do they do when they leave high school? And then not just that year that they leave, 1 year out, 2 years out, what are our kiddos doing, and how do we track that? But we're getting better and better at being able to track things like that. So if we can, we would encourage using multiple measures there as well to get a complete picture of what we're doing as a school system. Absenteeism, again, another complex issue that we all need to work together on to address. Please consider the complexities of our district there as well. We would echo some of the ideas shared at the retreat, such as small versus large schools again, specialty schools and comprehensives. Different schools have different purposes, and so breaking something down so it's not I think I heard Superintendent Andrade say like one-size-fits-all goal. That kind of makes people nervous sometimes when we're going to be the ones held accountable to it. And so can we triangulate again and get multiple pictures? We'd be happy to submit suggestions to you so you could share with the board. We encourage input from various stakeholders. Our district has a history of being collaborative, particularly our families and those who are close to the work. For each goal considered, we have a history of being inclusive and in that decision making, and we would encourage that practice to continue. Again, recognizing the complexities of our large district, not only in number but in landmass, we're left with amazing challenges to make meaningful goals. Thank you all for your thoughtfulness and your effort as you continue this process. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Point of privilege, just speaking as the board president, these goals, I think, were a wonderful step in the right direction. And I truly feel that the board knows that this is our first attempt. And we strive and have a plan to refine them with community and stakeholder input. ACT point is one point in time. We recognize that and also recognize the variations in data gathering and how to collect them. And I think most of the work, our goals are going to really define our lead measures and our strategies to get to these goals, which we obviously will lead to the experts within our district. But thank you so much for that feedback. Greatly appreciate it. The next item on the agenda is for a call to the public.
According to ARS 38-431.01H, at the conclusion of the call to the public, members of the public body may respond to criticism made by those who address the public body, may ask the staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, members may not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. We would like to caution members of the audience about commenting on a particular individual and thank you for not referring to any person by name. In order to avoid any concerns with interpretation services, please be aware of the following. We have a Spanish interpreter available to join you at the podium while you address the governing board. Only the PXU assigned interpreter will provide interpretation services. If you have a script on paper or on a device, we ask that you make it available for the interpreter. In order to provide accurate interpreting, we ask that you speak for approximately 2 to 3 sentences at a time and pause for interpreting. You will be given double the amount of time to address the governing board as a result. As usual, we ask that you end your comments when your official time allotment has ended. According to ARS,
Para evitar dificultades con los servicios de intérprete, tenga en cuenta lo siguiente. Tenemos un intérprete de español disponible para acompañarlo mientras se dirige a la mesa directiva. Solo el intérprete asignado por el distrito proveerá servicios de interpretación. Si tiene un mensaje en papel o electrónicamente, le pedimos que lo ponga a disposición del intérprete. Para brindar una interpretación precisa, le pedimos que hable aproximadamente de 2 a 3 oraciones a la vez y haga una pausa para el intérprete. Como resultado, se le dará el doble de tiempo para dirigirse a la mesa directiva. Como de costumbre, le pedimos que finalice sus comentarios cuando termine su tiempo asignado. Gracias por su cooperación.
Presentations tonight are limited to a maximum of 2 minutes. Tonight we have the option for members of the public to participate in person and virtually. However, we do not have anyone registered to speak virtually. So when I call your name, please state your name, indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes. First up, we have a student by the name of Swaggart. Swaggart?
Good evening, everyone. I came here to talk about I was recently a student from Metro Tech High School, and I would like to speak about the profile discrimination that has been going on throughout Metro Tech High School. My first incident with a profile discrimination was from the vice principal. I believe there was an incident about like a situation that happened, and she had to call me up, right? And so from there, I had to speak up and use this same tone of voice. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I'll use this same tone of voice towards her. She was profile discriminating me because she stopped me right there in the middle of a sentence, saying that I was raising my voice at her, right? And she had explained that another teacher, he would have, he did lash out at me. He did raise his voice at me, and in which her response was, from her very same sentence, I have video, have evidence and everything, that she said, with that same tone of voice, of course he would have like lashed out of you. That's what she said. Who wouldn't have snapped? That's what she said. But like, okay, the thing she's trying to say, she's trying to like say like based on what I did is basically of his reaction, and she said like oh he would have oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm just nervous.
Thank you. You're out of time. Thank you. Next up, we have Sabrina Mejia.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Mejia, and I'm here for Metro Tech because I'm in the waiting list. I'm a incoming freshman. I see other kids happy for their freshman year, and I'm over here stressed and worried because I don't know what high school to go to because currently I'm on the waiting list in Metro Tech. I used to go to Morris K. Utah, and we used to have multiple lockdowns because violence and shooting going on at Car Hayden, which is my home school. I don't want to go there because I feel unsafe, and I don't want to be somewhere where I need to care about my safety. I have friends that don't recommend going there, not only Car Hayden, but many other schools, such as Maryville, Trevor, Brown, Seta Travis, and more. All my siblings have went to Metro, and this will make it easier for my parents and their work schedule.
Thank you. Genesis Mejia.
Hello, I'm a student, a senior from Metro Tech High School. I want to talk about the racism that's happening and the lack of attention towards students and parents, counselors. So I was in my sophomore year, and since ACE goes around towards sophomore year, my counselor had posted a QR code, but other than that, they didn't say anything about the ACE. And so they posted a QR code, and the majority of the students didn't get to see the QR code, and she only had posted the QR code for like a week and a half or 2 weeks, when that wasn't the time limit from the ACE, which was like, I still had like 3-4 weeks left. And so I was one of the students that didn't get to be able to sign for ACE because of that situation. And that's why I was gonna talk about my counselor. Like, I have other friends, and my brother, he had the same counselor as me, and she just didn't pay much attention to her students. And I don't know how they want us students to succeed in life without giving us an opportunity or getting more expand of the ACE program, and no time for us, because students, they don't listen to students at Metro Tech High School. For example, our counselors, some students don't even want to go to their counselors to speak to them because they prefer going to a trusted adult, like a teacher that they trust, instead of the counselor. And I also want to talk about the fight. There was a fight at Metro Tech High School.
Sorry, you're out of time. Thank you, though.
Superintendent, will you look into that, please?
Luis Mejia. Luis Mejia.
Buenas tardes, personal de Western. Yo vengo aquí por Metrotech. Tengo 4 muchachos ahí en la escuela. El asunto el motivo por el que vengo es por 3 años atrás, excelente servicio, excelentes maestros. Todavía hay algunos, pero el servicio de ahora es pésimo. No sé qué está pasando, principalmente por la cabecilla. ¿Quién es el personal principal? El director principal. Ahora,
Hello to all the personnel. I'm here to talk about Metrotech. I have 4 kids there, and the reason I am here is because 3 years ago it was excellent, everything was perfect, but now it's really complicated, and the reason of all this is because of the head, the principal.
ahora los muchachos míos se quejan de que no tienen ayuda por el consejero. Van a pedir ayuda y le dicen, no, regresa mañana, regresa otro día, hoy no puedo. No solo mis hijos, otros estudiantes también se quejan de eso.
My children are having problems with the counselors. They say that they can't talk to him when they go and try to talk to them, to the counselor. He says, I can't receive you right now, come back tomorrow. And that's not a problem only with my children. There are other students that have the same problem.
De rato oí del muchacho que pasó a hablar sobre el progreso de las escuelas, muy buenos programas, pero lo que está pasando en Metrotech es al revés. Lastimosamente, como es un área latino, no sé, no hay nada de ayuda. Van al consejero, lo niegan. Está muy preocupante.
A moment ago, there was a person that spoke to you here and spoke about all the different programs and goals, and everything sounds perfect, but that's not happening at Metrotech. It's the other way around. Maybe because it's an area with Latino people, but there are no opportunities.
Nada más la pregunta queda al aire. La pregunta es, ¿el principal puede poner un staff, impedir a maestros o personal de ahí del plantel Metrotech ayudar a los jóvenes? ¿Qué derecho tiene el principal de correr a maestros, mover el movimiento? No ustedes. Ustedes son los que tienen que mirar. El principal está ganando un dinero. Todos venimos a ganar un dinero, pero ¿por qué tiene derecho de mover el personal de Metrotech? Maestros, nadie tiene que correr a nadie. Por eso está la mesa directiva.
I just want to raise the question. Is the principal allowed to move the personnel? Aren't you here for that? Aren't you the authority that can do that? The principal is making money. He's making his own. He has an income, but is he allowed to fire personnel? Aren't you the authority for that?
Next up, we have Alba Fuerte.
Buenas tardes. Yo soy
madre de familia de Metrotech y estoy aquí para...
Señora, ¿puedes hablar en el micrófono?
Sí. Soy madre de familia de Metrotech y estoy aquí para dejarles saber al distrito todo lo que está pasando en la área, en la escuela, con los maestros, con la directora, con el personal de consejeros.
Good afternoon. I'm the mother of some students from Metro Tech, and I'm here to let the district know. I have 3 children that are studying in that high school, and I want to talk to you about the problems there, the problems that we're facing with the principal, and the counselors.
2 años atrás estaba muy buena comunicación con el personal, con el maestro, el director, todo era un equipo. Cualquier queja que nosotros teníamos, cualquier duda, íbamos con el principal, los ponía la atención y ya comentábamos algo que estaba pasando. Ahora en día yo he ido a la escuela a hablar sobre mi niña, simplemente que la estoy inscribiendo para este año de la escuela. Entonces me dijeron que no podían, no tenían tiempo la directora para atenderme.
All of this started 2 years ago. 2 years ago, the relationship with the whole personnel was wonderful, with the principal, with all the teachers. We were able to talk to them and talk about our children and their needs. Right now, I've been trying to get my daughter registered, and I've been trying to talk to the principal, but they're not receiving me. They're not giving me the opportunity.
Y pues no me atendió, me dejó una cita para 1 semana y media, regresé y ya no estaba ella, volví otra vez a la escuela, me dijo de que no estaban y que no tenía el día específico para decirme qué día iba a hablar conmigo. Pero ahora habló conmigo ella y me dijo de que no podía inscribirme a la niña, que porque no había cupo y la misma canción. Entonces le digo, para escuchar lo mismo y lo mismo y lo mismo, le digo, las veces que he ido, le digo, pues no es el caso. Entonces le dije, pues no sé, vamos a ver qué hago. Le digo, voy a tener que ir al distrito, le digo, porque pues mis hijos ahí se han graduado, 2 que se graduaron y la otra niña que sigue. Yo trabajo.
She told me that she couldn't talk to me. She gave me an appointment to come back a week and a half after, and I came back and she wasn't there. And then she later told me that she didn't know when she was going to be able to receive me. I was finally able to talk to her right now about the situation of my child, and she said that she couldn't help me, that she couldn't help me to get her registered. So it's the same problem, the same story over again. And I told her that I was going to have to do something, that I was going to have to come to the district. I have had 2 children that have graduated, and I'm trying to help this other one.
Y pues yo digo de que eso es una discriminatoria.
Señora, no tienes más tiempo. Muchas gracias.
Discrimination.
Next up, we have Lance Long.
My name is Lance Long, a teacher in the district. I did not intend to speak today, but the message of the keynote speaker at the convocation did raise some questions. He spoke about teacher burnout and gave a statistic that 55% of teachers are planning to leave the profession. He pointed out that female teachers are the ones most likely to burn out. I don't know what the typical rate of resignation is during the school year, but last year more than 180 district employees resigned. I find that astonishing and alarming. The question arises then, what is the district planning to do about teacher overload and burnout? Some ideas. Teachers regularly work beyond their contract day. You know that, I'm sure. Yet instructional leaders meetings are held from 3:30 to 6:30 after teachers have had a full and often exhausting day. Small school ILs don't have an IL prep, but instead receive a small stipend for taking the extra class. Why can't these IL meetings be held during PD learning and development days or on late start Wednesdays? The speaker talked about maintaining our health. Could not the health and wellness program do more for teachers by reaching out to food prep companies to have discounts for healthful meals? I would think that a food prep company would be delighted to have a contract with a district this size to give a massive discount to teachers. Preparing meals after an exhausting day, especially for teachers who have children, can become a real challenge. What about the teaching and learning framework? Why can't these modules be done in professional development? By tying these to performance-based pay, they just become one more thing on the list that needs to be checked off and done outside of the contract day. Does every district have such hoop jumping to get their PBP? I encourage you to seek out the advice of the vast pool of classroom teachers to help the district do more to care for teachers and reduce the overwhelming rate of burnout and resignation. I see I have 15 seconds, so let me tell you, believe it or not, I do appreciate the work that you do. I know that you have to put up with a lot of criticism and put up with people like me, but a tip of the hat as we begin the new school year to the work that you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Eric Kemp.
Good evening, Governing Board President Knapp, Superintendent Andrade, board members, leaders. I wanted to take this opportunity to speak to you on behalf of the Linda Brill Educational Academy. Last year, there were 2 terrifying events that occurred on campus. They ended with everyone going home safely. And in response to that, the District and Safety Division took measures to make everyone feel safe and secure. I'm here to just ask on their behalf. Well, number one, to let you know about how much gratitude they have for that. Just knowing having the extra safety personnel made people feel so much more safer. But they also hope to be thought partners with the board, with the safety division, so that this year also can be another successful, safe year so everyone goes home safe. Additionally, I'd like to take this opportunity just to communicate to the board and our leadership about a series of tremendous opportunities in our community for engagement. There's a series of events happening that will benefit our community, which is predominantly Black and Brown. Starting on the heels of Hispanic Heritage Month, there is a multi-district event where students from Mechas and Afro-Latinos are coming together for once-in-a-lifetime type concert recognizing diversity. And that's just a predecessor to other events that will continue in early 2025. In February, there's going to be Black Legislative Week, and on February 14th is Youth Day. And there's a series of events that are also opportunities for our students. So I just hope that the Mechas, the BSUs, you have the support of the board and the campus leadership so they can all participate. And I'd like to help in any way I can to make it happen.
Thank you. Madam Chair, can I ask the superintendent to look into the comments from the students and parents and follow up to the board with more information?
Will do. Thank you.
This concludes public comment.
Next item is 5A, approval of consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda items as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda has been made by Board Member Oliver, seconded by Clerk Marquez. Is there any discussion? No discussion. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? I'd just like to note that Board Member Ross excused herself, and I'm not sure if Board Member Potter is online.
Sorry, I was on mute. Aye.
Okay, so we have quorum. Okay. Motion carries. Next item is 6A, Superintendent's Report. Ms. Andrade, please provide your report.
Okay, welcome. Thank you for being here, and let's go ahead and get started. Good evening, Governing Board President, members of the community. I'm going to begin my report tonight by highlighting the incredible work that happened over the summer. First off, we welcomed 1,300 incoming freshmen and graduated nearly 200 students this past summer. I just want to take my hat off to the teachers, the staff, and the administrators that put their time and effort in to make our summer program successful. I want to give a special shout out to Michaela Jackson from managing summer school, which is a hot potato. And lastly, I really want to give a shout out to all our DSF and operations teams that worked tirelessly through the summer, through the monsoons, through the leaks, through the floods, more leaks, and clear out classrooms and make sure that we are absolutely ready to go come August 5th. Speaking of graduates, we had over 100 summer school completers cross the stage at our summer school graduation. Thank you, President Napa and Dr. Weber, for joining me on stage to accept these graduates. And our administrators were hard at work this summer preparing for the new school year. In July, we came together to really dig into the work, spending 3 days together working through operational goals, training, and setting the stage for a successful launch of schools. Shout out to the leadership division for pulling that together. Our safety teams, our district and campus safety teams came together at Alhambra for 3 days. One of the highlights from the experience was that there was just a lot of dialogue that occurred about what is really working in safety and what needs to be done differently and the best ways to move forward. I was honored to be able to speak with them on day 2, but I truly believe our safety teams are poised to have a very successful school year, and they're anxious to get started working with kids. So thank you to everyone in the safety division, Vanessa, Jeff, the entire team that helped pull that off. Thank you. Okay, so over the past couple of weeks, our campuses began welcoming freshmen to campus for orientation. This experience really allows those incoming freshmen to get acclimated to campus. They get their schedules, their IDs, they meet friends, they learn more about what their school offers, and then the first day isn't quite as scary. I want to give a huge shout out to our freshman house coordinators. They work tirelessly, our small school leaders, and our link crew, our student link crew leaders, for making all these experiences over the summer fun for our incoming 9th grade. I'm excited to welcome them back in their exclusive freshman only morning on August 5th. Each year, all our certified employees meet to learn about the district and prepare for a successful school year in the classroom. This year, new certified employees met over at Betty Fairfax and spent the time together, meeting one another, working together, and getting a jump start on the school year. Huge shout out to teaching and learning, talent, and our PD division or department for leading the charge and supporting all of our new teachers and staff. And it doesn't end there. As you know, we're committed to our classified staff, and not a lot of districts take time to provide that induction experience to hourly employees. As this board knows, we put our money where our mouth is, and we really try to invest in our employees. Our classified employees came together at Desert Willow Conference Center, and the food was phenomenal. And it was the 3rd straight year. Like certified, new employees come together to learn and prepare for the start of the school year. This is again led by our professional development department in conjunction with other divisions. Thank you, Dr. Siobhan Wagner. All right, I want to highlight 2 weekend training sessions where people had to give up their Saturdays, but yet attendance was crazy high. The first one was the Varsity Coaches Academy. I got to attend that one. That was fun. And the second one was the annual PXU Tech Fest. Both events provided opportunities for staff to come together and really improve their craft. Our coaches worked directly with our Director of Student Connectedness, Mr. Brian Fair, and to really level set about this upcoming year. And our Tech Fest provided staff with training on tools to make their classes more engaging. And we've just had great feedback on both. Thank you. Last training, exceptional student service compliance training. I know, right? It sounds boring, but it wasn't. It was one of the best trainings. It's what you need to know and where to grow. I'm excited to share that this training, there was over 250 attendees. We had staff coming in from our partner districts, the elementary districts, who once again, we led the way in Phoenix Union and welcomed them. I want to go ahead and thank our ESS department, especially Wendy Mann and Eileen Fernandez, for putting on this critical training opportunity. We brought together 3,500 staff this Tuesday in the GCU arena to kick off the new school year. I want to thank President Napa for attending. She can attest to the room's enthusiasm and excitement and pride. We cheered, we celebrated student performances, honored our students and staff, and the students took us through emceeing the event, our theater students, of course. I want to thank marketing and communications department, the tech department for all the hard work and planning. A lot goes into putting on an event like this. It's a heavy lift, but it's so worth it when we see how excited everyone is in that arena. So let's take a moment just to highlight the campus award winners. For those of you that weren't there, we used district data to pick our campus awards. And I want to just congratulate Wilson and Chavez for earning the Academic Achievement Award. That's a big deal. And then Alhambra and Bioscience for earning the Culture and Climate Award. And let's not forget about our Bruins. Trevor Brown earned the Freshman Success Award. But the real award, let's get to that. The Spirit Stick. This is a bit of a tradition in Phoenix Union, and it truly started out kind of as a joke, but it's taken on a life of its own. It is led by our principals each year. Each leader has 20 seconds, and we're not extending that, to get their section out there in the arena excited for the start of the school year. And when the dust settled, I mean, it was awesome this year, but when the dust settled, we awarded the Spirit Stick using a rubric and judges. See where, I mean, it's gotten like way out of control. I am just proud to announce Alhambra High School. Yeah, they won the Spirit Stick. Their theme was Serving the Future, which aligns with our theme of the future. And they all dressed in kind of like little 50s fast food service workers and sang like an older Coca-Cola song. I'd like to teach the world to sing. I'm not going to sing it for you, but this next one I might sing for you, though. The second Spirit Stick winner goes to our small schools, and that was Desiderata. Anybody that has kids or knows about Baby Shark would know this song, and I will not sing it, but it's still in my head playing from convocation. Anyway, this little, this mascot comes out and just starts dancing to that rendition of that song for 20 full seconds, and it was just hilarious to watch a shark dance like that. So very creative yet simple. Hats off to Desi. All right, Employees of the Year. This next slide gives me so much pride. I'm grateful to be able to honor and present the Employees of the Year at convocation. We thought we'd give them a little bit of notice since they did not know they were the Employees of the Year until Tuesday, and so we will be celebrating them in the September board meeting. This year, Yosika Ruth won our Certified Employee of the Year. She's amazing for anyone that knows her. Down at Academies, I believe. Dr. Timothy Gooding won our Administrator of the Year. Take a bow. And the Spirit Stick. What's happening here? Okay. And Steve Lawson was named our Classified Employee of the Year. Congratulations to all of them. You're truly exemplars for what it means to be great Phoenix Union employees. And we look forward to seeing you at the September board meeting. As you know, Mr. Seth Booth has left the building for another opportunity to serve Greater Arizona. And as we are sad to see him go, we're also excited to share that Dana Cook is serving as the interim principal at Phoenix Code. She comes with 3 decades of experience in education, and as a recent portfolio director and past principal, Ms. Cook has the skills and the knowledge and the ability to lead PCA as we search for their next innovative leader. Next one, First Sergeant Noah Tincher was recently awarded the Commander's Award for Public Service for serving the Trevor Brown High School JROTC and the Phoenix Union High School District as Operations Officer. First Sergeant Tincher has consistently worked with developing Army values in high school cadets. He has served as a role model of integrity and an example of authentic leadership in his time in Phoenix Union. We thank him for his service and congratulate him on this well-deserved honor. All right, if you haven't had the opportunity to tune into the Summer Olympics, that's okay, because it's next week. I want you to tune in to see Abdelhamid Nur run the 5,000-meter race. Yes, this young man is one of ours because he is a North High School graduate, a recent graduate. We are so proud of his success. I thought it was awesome when he went to the World, and now he's at the Olympics. So let's cheer him on and wish him the best. All right. Speaking of celebrations, this is probably my favorite slide tonight. We have some staff to celebrate. As you know, we remain dedicated to professional growth and opportunities for our staff. One thing that we track closely and celebrate is when staff make a transition from classified to certified, from certified to admin. Please join me in congratulating Lacey Jones, Samuel Lavi, Everardo Llamos, Diego Lopez, Nathan Martinez, Noel Navarrete, and Blanca Villagomez for transitioning into certified status. We got ourselves some teachers, some inclusion teachers, a couple counselors, data coach, an ELL teacher. I couldn't ask for better positions here. High demand positions, so thank you. In August, we launched the PXU Engagement Center and are happy to share that we had 9 students graduate in May and another 2 over the summer who wouldn't have even completed high school if our team hadn't reached out to them. We're excited about the opportunities that await and now have a full-time director, Miss Cindy Tricero, and a location at Central High School. Can't wait to share more good news about the flexible learning models and other initiatives bringing our kids back to the finish for their high school diplomas. Okay, back to school resource fair. As you can see from these photos, we recently had an incredibly successful back to school resource fair at Alhambra High School. The event opened at 8 and there was a line outside at around 6:45, and it was a long line. Hundreds and hundreds of people came and received resources, supplies. They even got haircuts, which were provided by some of our PXU staff. Thank you, Sammy, to get ready for that start of the school year. They're all fresh cut and barbered out. And I just want to thank everyone who made this experience incredible for our families. It is such our values and actions. So if you showed up for the resource fair, my heartfelt thank you to you all. All right, attendance. We heard earlier tonight that attendance will be a goal. They can't learn if they don't come, and so we have to peel back that root cause and figure out what it's going to take to get them to school. This year, we will once again launch our Strive for Less Than 5 campaign and encourage students to have less than 5 absences each semester. Our tagline is, let's rise and shine, attend every day, achieve in and out of the classroom. All right, tonight we celebrate another important achievement for our campuses. Also got me thinking as our associations were talking about our goals. What you're looking at tonight is the College and Career Readiness Index that we just submitted to the State Department of Education. This is a measurement against 16 different indicators that the state and others feel are valuable in a student's experience. And they measure them anywhere from their freshman year to their senior year. So these indicators follow a student through high school. And at the end of their senior year, they get awarded points for one of the 16 indicators if they completed them. I'm just so excited to talk about how many gains we had in our school. These gains are a result of intentional practitioner efforts. We've had including increased dual enrollment. We've had growth on state assessments, including Azella, and a notable rise in diploma seals. Additionally, 9 schools received bonus points for increasing college enrollment from the previous cohort. Almost every campus improved their CCRI score from last year, with a record high 4 schools reaching their maximum points possible. Wilson had the largest gain, no surprise, and the Achievement Award. Wilson had the largest gain with a 3.4 increase, with many other schools showing significant increases as well. Good job, Wilson. What this table kind of shows is if it's in yellow, that's their year's highest scores. So you can see how many of them really this year was their highest year for overall scores in the CCRI. Congratulations, principals. You made that happen. We are closely monitoring and tracking student enrollment. Our recent demographic study shared, though, that we would continue to expect a decline over the next few years. However, our efforts to market and focus on student retention are showing promise in reducing the decline. We're going to continue to bring this back to the board just about every month to monitor our progress and see how stable we can get enrollment this year. Performance-based pay. Well, if you're a certified member, you got your check deposited on Tuesday, July 3rd. Congratulations. The remaining 20%, or $600, will be paid later this fall. The final amount will be tied to student data, specifically ACT, Aspire, assessments take rates. And my last slide, the first day of school. I'll end my report tonight with this. Next Monday, we will welcome over 25,000 students to our campuses. And our theme this year is the future of Phoenix, because we are crafting the future of Phoenix, molding the future of Phoenix, and launching another cohort into the future of Phoenix at the close of the year. This theme highlights our schools, our certified staff, our classified administrators, all having that chance to shape the future of our city. We get to come to work every day and inspire our students, maintain high expectations, and genuinely change lives. We're excited and ready for the challenge ahead. The future is bright. And with that, I end my report and hand it back to President Napa.
Thank you. The next
Madam
item.
President?
Oh, go ahead.
Point of privilege.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love that we acknowledge and recognize superintendent. And I just want to acknowledge principals, teachers, staff who don't make it up on the board to get acknowledged, who are doing the work every day, who are doing the things that aren't tangible and can't be measured, like making a student's day, sharing their lunch with a student because they're hungry and the lunch wasn't enough, sharing, bringing things from their house. Like and I know we do a good job of acknowledging our staff, but I just want to, as we are pointing out those tangible, measurable things, I always like to say, we know that there are so many staff out there who touch our kids every day who don't get acknowledged, and I just want to say thank you for that, for those kind words that you said to that student that made their day. So I just want to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Ross. The next item is 11B, approval of recommendation for alternative to expulsion placement for student 2023-24-11. Is there a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation for an alternative to expulsion placement for the student identified as 2023-24-11?
I motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made by Board Member Ross and seconded by Senator Alston. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? I didn't hear any. Motion carries. The next item is 11C, discussion of governing board priorities and goals with potential action. Ms. Andrade.
Thank you, President Napa, members. I want to start by thanking you for coming together on July 19th at our board retreat and really taking a massive step forward in crafting and working together to come up with district-wide goals. I think we have a little bit of work to do, but we have a major step forward here with the goals you see up on the board. Our team has really taken a look at what structures are already existing in the month of August and where we can capture feedback, authentic feedback, right, and bring it back to the board to be able to kind of dig into. Just kind of want to give you sort of an overview of what we're planning on tackling, which is a little bit of a heavy lift, but that's why I'm urging the team to use existing meetings and structures. Don't add more in the first month of school, or that's dangerous. So I want to start by saying we'll be headed to the west side to Ward 5 on August 21st. Thank you, Maryville, for hosting. You won't have to do too much, but I know President Napa as well as Clerk Marquez will be there. My team will be there as well, and we'll be inviting parents, community, anyone that wants to come. You don't have to just be in Ward 5. But we want to hear that feedback around the goals. So again, if that Wednesday works for you, please come out to Maryville High School. We'll also be sending a survey to all of our Phoenix Union employees so that those that just can't make it can still give their feedback around the goals. We will connect further. I see they're already a little ahead of us, but ADA, CEA, and CTA, we planned on getting to them and really kind of unpacking some of their comments a little bit more. We have instructional leaders that we can get to. We have Black Alliance that we value and we will tap into. Native American Parent Council. We have our principals that'll be coming together on August 8th. We have assistant principals we should be able to get through in that entire month. Really wanted to tap into our counseling instructional leaders, which come together on August 19th. And we also have a CEE staff, I guess it's like a giant staff meeting, sort of. It's called SIM, and we can use some of that time as well. So I think by the time we get to the September meeting, we should have a plethora of data and feedback to inform you around next steps. Excited for that, but did just want to put aside a little bit of time tonight for any kind of discussion or next steps or just direction from me. Thank you.
Matt, you want to go? You go.
Madam President, Superintendent Andrade, did you discuss sending a survey to the parents regarding attendance and what is hindering them from, having their children be able to get to class and be in attendance? Are we going to do that? I thought we discussed that.
We can do that, yeah. We can ask for what the barriers are.
Yeah, what are the barriers?
And do we want to also ask them about the goal as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Madam
Thank you.
President, in that same lane, Superintendent, it feels weird that we are making goals essentially for students, but I haven't heard us talk about asking the students. That feels weird to make decisions on that. And in addition to the other parties that are relevant as well, but these directly impact them. And so I would love to, if that's marketing team, hi, don't hate me, doing like a little text thingy. I don't know what it is, but.
That actually did come up, President Napa, members, in our executive team discussion was what about the students? And so I know we had a student group on the wall and it was a student survey actually, if I recall. And I was the one that made the decision to pause and do that one in September, just because I don't want to pull kids out of class. And I don't want to disrupt learning in the first few weeks of school. That stability is really important. But we have not forgotten, and we have, we're actually pulling together a student congress, if you will, to inform the board this year. We have Stugo that meets regularly. So we have some existing structures we could tap into, but we also want to just get an everyday student. And for that, we will kind of wait until they start traveling and advisory. So thank you.
President Napa, Superintendent Andrade, so does that effort push back our decisions on the goals, or are we going to do that? I know this month is chock full with school starting, so how does that impact our September meeting? Because we were talking about, making a decision in September.
Well, thank you, President Napa, members. That's a great question. I think depending on how common the feedback is and the trends, we can make decisions in September. And I don't think we have to, I think it would be nice to have a really solid draft in September in place. And if it's not perfect, we can adjust that again in October. But I also don't want to make really good be the enemy of perfect here. I think I just quoted an author. But sometimes we wait and we wait and we take forever. And so I don't know how we'll do on these goals. I just like that we have goals. And so if they're not the right ones and our community tells us otherwise, well, then let's get the right ones. So for me, I'm just anxious to hear the feedback. And we're a large district. And I think it's important that we ask our teachers, that we ask our counselors, that we ask our experts that do the work every single day, that we share the data with them and ask what they think. Because they're the ones that do the heavy lifting every single day. And so it's important to me to reach our teacher leaders, our counselors, our all of our groups, And that's probably the only obstacle right now is time. Like, nobody has time for that. They're trying to launch a school year. And so it can be a little distracting, but again, we're just going to move forward with what we have. And I think we can make that decision in September.
Madam Chair. Superintendent Andrade, are these, two questions. So one, are these the same percentages that we discussed at the board retreat, or did the executive team, work on them, or to, make any assessments in terms of them being smart and attainable goals? And then I think we left the retreat discussing the executive team doing some work to maybe come back and present 3-year goals. And is that, or do you want to, sort of tackle this as a year at a time as we, move in the direction of adopting goals?
Thank you, President Napa, Member Marquez. We did discuss that. I think 1-year goals are important, and I want to keep those in place. We would like to be able to put these all in the exact same format. I think number 4 throws everybody for a little bit of a loop with the 45% coming first, and just the wording of it. So the team did have some feedback around that. But again, the big picture goals are really tied to our strategic plan, and the long range, and they don't have to necessarily be exactly linked with these goals. So the two are interconnected in some ways, but they don't have to be the exact same goals. And our team will continue to work on those. We do not have the 3 to 5 year goals developed yet. We'll have to get that feedback from the community.
And then just wanted to recognize the public comments or from the association reports around measuring growth. I think the 5 goals are intended to be district-wide goals, but I think we're gonna, as President Napa stated, leave sort of the execution of this to the experts. And I heard in the superintendent's report how Aspire and ACT scores are tied to performance pay. It'd be interesting to see how do we measure growth from freshman year to junior year, so that it really isn't just that one point in time, their junior year when they take the ACT officially. But if we have those growth goals, that you determine for the staff and the principals to determine for their schools, I think that will help us reach these goals if we decide that they're the right goals that are attainable.
Thank you, and that is certainly part of the whole system design for why we give Aspire, ACT, or pre-ACT and ACT. We don't have to give that 10th grade one, and we deliberately do so that it's a system of prediction and growth for our students. So thank you.
Do we need a motion?
Nope, we didn't change anything.
Can we adopt them as draft goals and bring them back for more discussion after our sort of month of,
It'll be on the September agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Clerk Marquez and Superintendent Andrade. The next discussion item, or the next item, is 11D, consideration and possible action to appoint a delegate to serve at the Arizona School Boards Association Delegate Assembly. Ms. Andrade.
Okay, so typically we're able to, you are all able to vote on a delegate that you'd like to represent you, as well as give feedback around the political agenda items that you want to advocate for. Unfortunately, those agenda items just came out today, so we did not amend our agenda for that. But what we can accomplish tonight is we do know that you all need to appoint or nominate a delegate to serve at the Arizona School Board Delegate Assembly on September 7th. And then what I'll do is we'll make sure Ms. Cevallos emails you the political agenda. You can all take a look at that. You'll probably get it tomorrow in your inbox. And you have a few weeks to decide what it is you'd like to direct your delegate to do at the September meeting, because there's still time at the September meeting before the delegate assembly. So for tonight, you really just want to, if we have anyone that wants to volunteer or nominate a peer to be the lucky delegate at the Arizona School Board Association Assembly.
Thank you, Superintendent Andrade. I would like to make a motion to appoint Clerk Marquez as our delegate for the September 7th Arizona School Boards Association Delegate Assembly. Can I have a second, or is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, a motion's been made by myself and seconded by Board Member Ross. Is there any discussion? On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, please indicate by saying nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right. Next item is 11E, adoption of revised governing board policy on second reading CCB line and staff relations. Is there a motion to adopt the revised policy?
I motion.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you. A motion's been made by Board Member Ross and seconded by Board Member Oliver. Is there any discussion? All right. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, please indicate by saying nay. Any abstentions? For the purpose of time, we're going to combine 11F, 11G, 11H into one agenda item, so that way we can vote on all three.
That's fine, and I just want to note, we didn't hear Member Para on the last one, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So 11F.
I'm sorry, that's me. I actually have a, what's it called? That I have?
You have an
No.
amendment to the
Thank
policy?
you. I have an amendment, thank you. I have an amendment to the policy on item F, so if we could not combine that one,
Okay.
it'd be awesome, please.
All right, then, 11F, adoption of revised governing board policy on second reading, GBEAA, staff conflict of interest. Is there a motion to adopt the revised policy?
I motion.
Is there a second? Motion's been made by Board Member Ross and seconded by Board Member Oliver. Is there any?
I have to do it first? Oh, I thought we were doing discussion.
Yeah, no.
I apologize.
So
I did that
since you're
wrong.
going to adopt it as amended, why don't you talk about what your amendment is first, and
I
then we
would-
can have a motion.
Thank you. My apologies for doing that incorrectly. I want to change the wording on the second paragraph from grandson to grandchild.
Okay.
To just make it more gender neutral.
Okay.
And you can make a motion now to approve it with that amendment.
Thank you. I make a motion that with that amendment, we approve it.
Okay, there is a motion to adopt the amended policy. Is there motion been made by Board Member
Right,
Ross,
she seconded.
seconded by Board Member Oliver. Now, is there any discussion? Okay, on the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Board Member Parda? Nope. Those in favor, aye. Opposed? And we did not hear from Board Member Para. Motion carries. Next item is 11G, adoption of revised governing board policy on second reading IHA, Basic Instructional Program. Is there a motion to adopt the revised policy?
I motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Board Member Ross and seconded by Board Member Oliver. Is there any discussion? I have discussion. Let me find. So on the, looking at minimum course study, section C, looks like we break out history, including Native American history, and then all these other geography, civics, economics, world cultures. But we also offer African American history and Hispanic history. Why isn't, if we're including Native American history, why not those other two?
President Napa, members of the board, we can certainly add that in. I believe that was just a miss as they come from the legislature. So we will go ahead and add both Latinx and African American history.
Excuse me, can I just chime in really quick? These are what's required under the law for students to take. And so I don't believe the other courses are requirements, and so that's why they're not listed on there. I believe we offer those as electives, correct? Do we have the authority to make them requirements?
President Napa, members of the board, Superintendent Ms. Fernandez, We do offer those courses. As Ms. Fernandez indicated, the reason that the policy is stated the way it is to be compliant with statute. If we feel like listing those additional courses is important, and I completely understand and support the reasons why the board would feel this way, I think we need to revisit the wording on it, because we're certainly not going to require that a student take every single one of those courses. They have options, right, about which course they may wish to take that particular history or the lens for which they're exploring that. So if that's the direction of the board, we would need to take it back and look at the wording.
Point of clarification. So if this is required, so all students have to take a Native American history course?
We are
by statute?
required to keep Native American history as a portion of that course. It's required by statute.
President Napa, members of the board, there's different histories as they go through. There's world history, then they take Arizona U.S. history, and they go through and they take government at the senior year. And so within that course of sequence in the high school, these topics or these areas are covered.
And we go above and beyond.
Requirements.
Ms. Tellis, can you repeat that, what you said? Okay, thank you. Is your mic on?
The question still wasn't answered of, even though this is directly from statute, can we, as a board, request that the other ones be added? Attorneys, I guess that's the question to the attorneys.
So, President Napa, board members, we could add them as additional items that could be included within the social studies. Are you asking if we can add them as additional courses that we require students to take, or additional subjects within this area?
Additional subjects within that area.
So I think that it's something that we could do, but when we're looking at the whole scheme of our curriculum, we have to figure out, how do I word this? We have to figure out how we include that within the topics of discussion. And I think that may have a ripple effect on some other policies that we would have to look at to answer your question. Because we're looking at the curriculum as a whole at that point.
Thank you so much. I also have, and since we're talking about this being statute, the removal of letter I, foreign or Native American language. Is that no longer a requirement by the state? Okay, thank you so much.
President Napa, members of the board, you have to have, you can have fine arts. There's certain graduation requirements and ways to meet them, and foreign language is certainly not a requirement. It is an ABOR requirement if you'd like to go to university, and we encourage all of our students. In fact, back to that CCRI indicator, students that meet their ABOR get points because that matters. That's a more rigorous program of study. But for some, their electives and their other options are more appealing to them. And so it is no longer a graduation requirement, but an ABOR, Board of Regents for College requirement.
Thank you for the clarification. Is there any more discussion? Okay. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 11H, adoption of revised governing board policy on second reading, CFD, school-based management. Is there a motion to adopt the revised policy?
I motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made by Board Member Ross and seconded by Board Member Oliver. Is there any discussion? On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? I don't think so. Motion carries. All right. 12A, next meeting. The next regular meeting of the governing board is scheduled for Thursday, September 5th, 2024 at approximately 6 p.m. 12B, request for future agenda items. Members, any items?
Yes, ma'am. Superintendent, I'm going to need you to help me with the wording. I want to discuss this on future board meeting. I went to school in Illinois, and Illinois, what did you call it? We had to, there was not an option. Every student who went to school had to meet the requirements to get into college. It was not like these,
Like a board of
it was the same
regents.
thing as graduating. Like you couldn't graduate unless those are one and the same. So at some point I would like to discuss that. And if that's something we could move toward as a district.
Okay, so I just want to be clear, like in New York, they have the Regents diploma, and we don't
No.
have different
So-
types of diplomas?
No, ma'am.
In Arizona, but you would like to have a conversation or a discussion around the implications or consequences, unintended, otherwise, around aligning Phoenix Union's graduation requirements with ABOR?
Yes, and there was no, when I graduated, there was one diploma, and in order to get that diploma, you had to meet what is it called? Because that's not what we call it. It's just what you have to do to graduate. What are you calling it, Board of Regents?
There's the Arizona Board of Regents, which are
So
the
whatever you need to get into
universities.
college, like
Yep.
this many sciences, this many blah, 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 foreign languages, like you literally had to have that to graduate. Everyone who graduated in Illinois from high school had to have those things. And so I would love to discuss that at some point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that is something that, a diploma is a property right, and so it would take some time, if
You
2
can
years
discuss
notice
this-
at least,
Sorry,
at a
you can
minimum.
you can discuss
Oh, we're
this at the
getting
next
too into the
meeting.
weeds.
Next meeting.
Oh, okay. I'll put it on the agenda.
Any other items? Okay, 12C, motion to adjourn. Having concluded our business, is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion.
Second.
Motion to adjourn has been made by Board Member Ross, second by Board Member Oliver. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
She always gets me.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.
I think Seisha played that well. She did.